Okay, beginning chapter 4, we're going to look at the piece entitled Connections. At first glance, it looks kind of notey. It looks like there's a lot going on here. So obviously, we're going to want to break this down into more comprehensible um, sections. So the first thing we want to note is the key signature. We are in the key of C since there are no sharps or flats indicated, so key of C. Okay. Now we will see that there are accidentals throughout the piece. Let's take a look at one hand at a time. We'll start with the left hand. If we look at the left hand here, we can see that it's outlining triads. So let's identify these triads. This first one is a C major triad. Then it moves to an E minor triad. On the next bar, let's see what happens. Well, it's just a repetition. Again, it's the same thing. C major and E minor for the first two bars. So we can go ahead and try playing just that much with the left hand, and it's pretty simple. So the left hand, we'll start with the fifth finger on C3 position. Then we have just a C major triad. And then we're just going to shift the hand up to play E minor as a triad. And then the left hand will shift back down to play C major again. And then back up to E minor. If we're analyzing this using Roman numerals, this would be a 1 chord, followed by a minor 3 chord, and repeating on the second bar in the key of C. Let's take a look at the right hand and see if there's a similarity. So if we now take a look at the right hand, you might notice that again, it's outlining the very same C major triad. It's exactly the same. But the difference is it's not played as a blocked chord, it's a broken chord. Then again, it moves up to an E minor triad, back to C major, and back to E minor. So now we're going to play both hands together, but as block chords for now. So we're going to ignore the rhythm for now just to get used to the shifting hand positions. So both hands are on a C major chord, right hand's on middle C, left hand's on C3. Here we go, C major, then shift up to E minor, shift back down to C major, shift back up to E minor. Now let's try that in rhythm. Here we go. 1, E, and a. 2, E, and a. 1, E, and a. 2, E, and a. Very simple. Now let's take a look at the next two bars. So if we look at this piece, we can see that actually he does follow, or she does follow the same kind of methodology in the compositional structure, where it's basically triads. Now notice we now have an F sharp in this section. That indicates a key change, and in this case, we are changing to the key of G major with the F sharp. Let's see what chords we have. Well, we have a G major triad here, G, B, D, and then a B minor triad, and it repeats itself, G major, B minor. If we look at the Roman numeral analysis, what we'll find is we again have a 1 chord and a minor 3 chord. So it's the same material, it has simply been modulated from the key of C major up a perfect fifth to the key of G major. Let's try this with both hands. The left hand is on G3 position, the right hand is on G4 position, and we have the 1 chord, G major. And then we have the 3 chord, B minor, so let's build it up. B, D, F sharp, in the left hand, and also B, D, F sharp in the right hand as a 3 chord, B minor. And now we're going to just practice going from the G major to the B minor chord. G major. Now shift up to B minor. Back down to G major. And back up to B minor with the F sharp on the top. And now let's try that in rhythm. Here we go. And 1, E, and A. 2, E, and A. 1, E, and A. 2, E, and A. So feel free to pause the video and review that. Okay. And then we're continuing. On measure 5 and 6, we see that the pattern has changed just a little bit here. But in fact, it's still based on triads. So now we shift to another key. In this case, we move to the key of D with the F sharp. And we have a D major chord with D, F sharp, A, and also the same D major chord on bar 6 with D, F sharp, A. And so the harmonies are a 1 chord followed by another 1 chord. So left hand, D, F sharp, A on middle D, D4, and the right hand 1 octave higher on D5, D, F sharp, A on measure 5. Play that as a block triad. And then bar 6, we're just going to shift down an entire octave. D, F sharp, A, D, F sharp, A. Let's practice that transition. Measure 5, so shift up an octave. Measure 6, shift down an octave, D major. And now in rhythm. Measure 5, 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and. Okay. So before we go on, let's put that much together. So from the beginning, we're going from C major up to E minor, and then G major up to B minor, then D major, and down an octave. Okay. 1, E, and A, 2, E, and A. 1, E, and A. 2, E, and A. 1, E, and A. 2, E, G major. 1, E, and A. 2, E, and A. 1, E, and A. 2, E, D major. 1, E, and A. 2, and 1, E, and A. 2, and. So in this way, you can learn this entire piece. Let's now try that much as written. So we'll start off with a C major section. So we have this pattern, 1, E, and A, then E minor, 2, E, and A, C major, 1, E, and E minor, 1, E, and A. Let's do it one more time. Here we go. 1, E, and E minor, 2, E, and C major, 1, E, and E minor, 2, E, and A. Again, feel free to pause the video and work on that a bit. When you're ready, we're going to do G major. This bars 3 and 4. Here we go. 1, E, and B minor, 2, E, and G major, 1, E, and B minor, 2, E, and A. And now we're going to combine bars 1 through 4. Here we go. 1, E, and E minor, 2, E, and C major, 1, E, and E minor, 2, E, and G major, 1, E, and B minor, 2, E, and G major, 1, E, and B minor, 2, E, and A. Great. Now let's take a look at measure 5 and measure 6. Ready, and 1, E, and A, E, and down an octave, 1, E, and A, 2, E, and A. Again, feel free to pause that and work on that section. Now let's look at the next 2 bars. So this is bar 7 and bar 8. We are still in the key of D major here, except now we go back to the original pattern of a 1 chord followed by the minor 3 chord, the 1 chord followed by the minor 3 chord. The chords in this case are D major and up to the 3 chord, which is F sharp minor. Back to D major and back to F sharp minor. You can write in the cautionary accidental if you'd like. I'll go ahead and write it in my score, the F sharp. Just to take away any chance of me not noticing it. So let's play the block chords. D major with the F sharp. Now shifting up to F sharp minor, which is F sharp, A, C sharp, F sharp, A, C sharp as a chord. Back down to D major. Back up to F sharp minor. One more time. D major, F sharp minor, D major, F sharp minor. And now let's try it as written. Ready? And 1, E, F sharp minor, 2, E, D major, 1, E, F sharp minor, 2, E, and A. So as you go ahead and get very secure on each of these patterns. It'll make your life a lot easier. So you might have noticed that we are traveling in the circle of fifths progression. We started in the key of C, we moved up a perfect fifth to the key of G, then another perfect fifth up to the key of D. So we might assume that Lynn Freeman Olson may be continuing to the key of A. And indeed, if we look at the music, she does. So, next section, we are now in the key of A major. And guess what? It's exactly the same chord progression. A 1 chord, followed by a minor 3 chord, 1 chord, followed by a minor 3 chord. Now we can see that some harmonic analysis yields a very simple to understand compositional structure. The 1 chord in A major is A major. The 3 chord in A major is C sharp minor. A major, C sharp minor. Again, I'm going to indicate the C as a sharp, as a cautionary accidental for myself. Feel free to do the same on your own score. And now let's play this. So left hand is on A3, A, C sharp, E. Same with the right hand up an octave, A major chord. Then we shift up a third to C sharp minor, which is C sharp, E, G sharp, C sharp, E, G sharp as a chord. Then shift back down to A major. Shift back up to C sharp minor. One more time, A major, then C sharp minor. Okay. And now let's try it as written. Of course, feel free to pause the video and reinforce your understanding of the block chords before proceeding to this next step. 2, E, A major. 1, E, C sharp minor. 2, E, A major. E, C sharp minor. Just like that. Once you are comfortable with that, feel free to combine that from the D major section. So we can call this whole section, let's just do it as a blue section here. And the first section is red, like this. And that takes us to the next 2 bars, which is bar 11 and 12, moving right along, almost completed with half of this piece. What comes after A major in the circle of fifths? Well, E major does. And that's exactly where we end up. So we end up on the key of E major, and it is indeed just a 1 chord. This is exactly the same pattern that we had on bar 5 and 6. On bar 5 and 6, we had a D major chord that went down an octave. In this case, we have an E major chord that goes down an octave. It's exactly the same music. There is no difference. So let's try it. Left hand's on E4, right hand's on E5 as a block chord, E major. And then shift down an octave, E major. Once again, E major. Shift down an octave, E major. Once you're comfortable with that shift, we can try it as written. Here we go, and 1, E, and A, 2, E, and A. 1, E, and A, 2, E, and A. And once you're comfortable with that, go ahead and merge that from bar 7 all the way through bar 12. And then you can even combine bar 1 through bar 12 as well. Okay? Once you've completed that segment, you can resume this video. All right, so the next part we're going to look at is actually not bar 13. We're going to jump all the way to bar 21. Bar 21, which is right here. And why are we looking at bar 21? Well, if you look at the music, you might notice that it is an absolute repetition of what you just had. You already know it. So at bar 21, it's exactly the same as measure 1, all the way through measure 12. So all of this through measure 32 is identical. So look at that. All we have left are measures 13 through 20 and measures 33 through 33, or 33 through 39, excuse me, or 8. Okay? That's all that's left. All right. So let's go ahead and learn the rest of this piece. Measure 13. Okay. So again, we're looking for triads, we're looking for patterns, and the triad obviously is in the right hand, not the left hand. So let's identify the triads here. In the right hand, we have an F major triad, 13, bars 13 and 14. And then we have a C major triad on measures 15 and 16. And then it goes back to an F major triad on bar 17, then a G major triad on bar 18. So the right hand is pretty easy to understand. If you look at the rhythm, the right hand is actually just eighth notes. They look like they're written as 16th notes, but because they're shared with the left hand, they're actually eighth notes. So we play on 1, E, and 2, E, and 1, E, and 2, E, and so this is very easy. Let's try this section together. Just the right hand. Counting and 1, E, and 2, E, and 1, E, and 2, shift down to C major. 1, E, and 2, E, and 1, E, and shift back up to F. 1, E, and 2, shift up to G. 1, E, and 2, E, and just like that. So we've already learned the right hand from measures 13 through 18. Very, very easy. Do that a few times until you're very comfortable. Next, let's take a look at bars 19 and 20. What do you notice here? We have descending triads in the right hand, descending triads. And in this case, we could analyze each chord, but notice they're all white keys. So to simplify this, I'm just going to tell you the starting key. We start on A minor on bar 19, and then we start on G major on bar 20. And you just descend one white key at a time, one step at a time. So starting with A minor, all white keys, triad, down a step to G, down to F, down to E, back up to G, G, down to F, down to E, down to D, just like that. So you don't actually have to think of the triad. You can just shift your hand down the white keys. Just know where to start. Let's try this in tempo. Right hand, A minor. Here we go, and 1, E, and F, 2, E, G, F, E, D. And now you have bars 19 and 20. Okay, almost there. Let's take a look now at the left hand on bar 13. What do we have? Well, we have an F sharp and a G sharp. If you want, you could actually indicate that for yourself, the notes, F sharp and G sharp. Okay? Which is in stark contrast to the F major triad that we have. F sharp, G sharp. Measure 14 is a repetition. Then bar 15 and 16, it's C sharp, D sharp. And notice how they're actually overlapping the hands a bit, because the right hand's on F4 position on bar 13. The left hand is playing F sharp and G sharp right in between the F and the A. So to do this, have your left hand over your right hand, and that way your hands will not be interfering with each other. If we count this, it sounds like this. 1, E, and A. 2, E, and A. 1, E, and A. 2, E, and A. So very easy. Try that a few times. And then we can try the one in C major. Same deal here. The left hand is playing C sharp and D sharp in between the C and E in the right hand. Again, left hand over the right hand. Try it and 1, E, and A. 2, E, and A. 1, E, and A. 2, E, and A. And then it goes back up to F. Same thing. Left hand goes to F sharp and G sharp, just like it did in bar 13. Ready? And 1, E, and A. 2, E, and A. And then up to bar 18. Now we go up to G sharp and A sharp. Notice the relationship between the left hand and the right hand are the same. Okay, let's try this. Ready? And 1, E, and A. 2, E, and A. Once you are comfortable with each of these measures, then continue to the next part of this video. All right. Now that you have gotten comfortable with bars 13 through 20, we're going to put them all together, starting on measure 13. Okay, so we're in F position. Ready, and 1, E, and A. 2, E, and again. 1, E, and A. 2, E. Shift down to C, E, and A. 2, E, and again. 1, E, and A. 2, back to F, and 1, E, and A. 2, E, and G. 1, E, and A. 2, E, and up to A. 1, G, F, E, G, F, E, D. Feel free to do that with metronome and increase the tempo. Now we have just one more section remaining on this piece, and that is the very end. So let's take a look at this. If we look carefully, we might notice that in fact, from bar 32 through bar 33, it's exactly the same pattern. Let's just see how it transitions. We're in E major here on 32. On measure 33, we are in E flat major. And then on bar 34, we are back to E major. So bar 34 looks a lot different than 32, but actually it's exactly the same thing. There are just cautionary accidentals there. So let's try playing this in terms of triads. We have the E major triad, E, G sharp, B chord. And then we go down a half step to E flat major, E flat, G, B flat, E flat, G, B flat chord. Back up to E major, E, G sharp, B, E, G sharp, B chord. So now let's get comfortable transitioning between those triads. So E major, now shift down to E flat major, back up to E major, back down to E flat major, back up to E major. Do this until you're comfortable. When you are, then let's try playing it as written, just the 3 bars. Here we go. And 1, E, and A, 2, E, and E flat. 1, E, and A, 2, E, and E major. 1, E, and A, 2, E, and A. Do that several times on your own. Now let's take a look at the rest of this. Bar 35, we go to F major, then G major, then A major, then B major, then C major. It's just ascending up a scale. F, G, A, B, C. That's all it is. Let's try this. F major triad and F major, up a whole step to G major, up a whole step to A major, which has a C sharp, up a whole step to B major, which has a D sharp and an F sharp, and then up a half step to C major. Just like that. Let's do that again. Here we go. And F major, G major, A major, B major, C major. Once you're comfortable with that, we can do it as written. One note. Notice how on the penultimate bar, we have LH, left hand, on the high C. So there, you're actually going to cross over with your left hand to play C6, like that. Okay? Try just that measure with me. Ready? And 1, cross over and C. Once again, and 1, E, then 2, C. Just like that. Now let's try bar 35 through 37. Ready? F. 1, E, now to G, G, now up to A, now up to B, and up to C. Cross over and C, E, and A. And it just ends on 2 C's, C3 and C4. That is the whole piece. Okay? Once you are comfortable, you can play along with this next version, which is going to be a slow playthrough. Here we go. Ready? And 1, E, E minor, back to C, back to E minor, up to G, then to B minor, back down to G, up to B, now up to D, E, and A, 2, shift down an octave, 1, E, and A, 2, E, and D major, 1, F sharp minor, 2, back to D, back to F sharp, up to A, up to C sharp minor, back to A, C sharp minor, up to E, E, and A, 2, E, and down an octave. 1, E and A, 2, E and F major. 1, E and A, 2, E and again. 1, E and A, 2, C major. 1, E and A, 2, E and A, 1, E and A, 2, F major. 1, E and A, 2, G major. 1, E and A, 2, E, A minor. 1, G, F, E, G, F, E, D, C major, E minor, C major, E minor, G major, B minor, G major, B minor, D major, E and A, shift down 1 octave. 1, E and A, 2, E, D major. 1, E, F sharp minor, D major, F sharp minor, A major, C sharp minor, A major, C sharp minor, E major, E and A, down 1 octave. 1, E and A, 2, down a half step. 1, E and A, 2, back up a half step. E and A, 2, up a half step. F. Now G, then to A major, up to B major, up to C major, E cross over and 2, E and then. And last but not least, I'll play a demo of this. Obviously, it will go faster. Doesn't have to be too fast. Stay at a tempo that's comfortable for you. But it'll sound something like this.